evening. If you do want to check out the previous one, you can check out all the games on the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/STPL TV. So very easy to say, very easy to spell, a lot easier than spelling my name, which you can see just down there. Obviously STPL TV, also on Twitter as well, if you want to follow any of the announcements for the STPL and anything else cool that could be happening regarding the tournament and whatnot. So, we just saw FBW versus Ash. We're going to head into our second series here. It's going to be our Group B match. So let's just quickly have a look at the standings in Group B so far. Soul Gaming tied with NetWars at the top of the group. IRK in a close second. DM in a close third as well. No, DM and IRK are actually tied. There's a game missing from DM versus IRK that I need to fix. So, White, if you're watching, I know it's still not fixed. I didn't get a chance to do it yesterday, unfortunately. But it'll be fixed by tomorrow. Because I'm going to sit for like an hour or so after work tomorrow before I go into my ladder spree to try and start off Season 2 with renewed optimism to fix all my code that seems to have gone wrong. I actually fixed one of the bits of code that was wrong earlier, but got a few other things wrong. But either way, let's have a look at the maps we're going to be seeing in this game. Set 1, going to be on Katrina SE. Set 2, Sin Peaks of Baekdu. Set 3, Neo Ground Zero. Set 4 on Plasma, and Set 5, if we do get to it, which we have done 3 times already over the past 2 days, it's going to be the ace match on Coliseum 2. Now, we did just see a cool well, I'm not going to say actually what happened in that series, just so you have to check out the VODs if you want to. But let's actually quickly look at the matchup just while we're here. It's going to be PSiStorm.eu. Now, last round, they didn't make it to the playoffs. They didn't make it into the playoffs in round 1 either, but they went 2 for 4 against some very, very tough teams. They are currently sat on 1 loss along with bwL, so both of them did lose their first games, unfortunately. But they're going to be back here once again to try and do a little bit of damage to each other, try and make it through to give themselves more of a chance to make it through to those playoffs at the end of round 3. Just in case you're unsure of the format of the STPL, there is 4 rounds over the course of the year, all leading to the grand final playoffs. So far, we've had, this is the 3rd round, so we've had 2 full rounds and 2 sets of playoffs, but just doing the 2 and I realised no one could see me. But 2 rounds, 2 sets of playoffs. We're in round 3, and we're going to be heading into the playoffs after that. The top 4 or 8, depending on how many teams make it through, will make it to the top grand final playoffs at the end. Obviously, from the round playoffs, position 1 gets 5 points, position 2 gets 3, position 3 gets 2, and position 4 gets 1. So we've got 5 teams, I believe, 6 teams even, with points so far. So it should be kind of cool to see how that's going. Now, we're obviously going to be moving in to our matchup here between pSi versus bwL. So let's introduce the matchups that we're going to be seeing today. Starting us off, we're going to have a ZVZ between Mitak and Herbmon, or as Americans like to say, Herbmon. Or at least Herbmon says that, which is kind of weird. But a PvP between Castle, going to be coming up next between Grast and Castle, sorry. ZVZ, or ZVT even, on Neo Ground Zero between Cold and Kimkex. Now, you may have seen a cool ZVT between Cold and Radley in that highlight break just now, so hopefully we have another game similarly as epic in scale. And then on Plasma, to finish us off, very possibly, we're going to have a PvP, I believe, between Marine and Kingdom. Now, I know Marine does pick Zerg versus Protoss, but I know he told me he wanted to play PvP on one of the maps because he's feeling a little bit more confident about it recently. But he does race pick every single match. He is a random player by heart. Random is banned in the STPL, just to make it a little bit more fairer for the teams and to give teams a chance to prepare better for their series. But to have a look at our first 2 players, Mitak, a very strong Zerg on PSiStorm, done a great job for his team. Last round he did go 1 for 2. but he did win his first game here. Did lose in that ace match against White Clan. Not White Clan, that was Bull. Who did they play against? Man, I think it was DM. I think it was pSi versus DM on Monday. Mitak did get sent out in the ace match. Unfortunately, did not manage to win that for his team. But he is going to be back here once again in week 2. Sorry, it was pSi versus IRK. pSi versus IRK was the game they made it to the ace match. Very surprising results from them. But their opponent going to be over there on the right-hand side. Going to be Herbmon. Did start off life in the STPL for Naz. Didn't know for Red even. Played one game, I think. And then changed teams eventually when he wasn't really getting too much play. Red's roster insanely sick. And huge thank you to the person who just followed, by the way. Did miss your name, unfortunately, but I'm focusing a lot on the production side. Obviously, I'm doing this all this by myself today. I've just got Rapid with me, but he is a little bit busy. Probably asleep right now, given the fact it's nearly 6 AM in Korea. But let's actually have a look at the map stats. They're going to be heading on to They're not going to be heading on to Coliseum 2. They're going to be heading on to Katrina SE. Now let me just quickly hide this while I figure out what's going on with that, but hopefully it shouldn't be anything too serious. And I bet I have a null pointer. No, I don't. Okay, I'm just an idiot who didn't actually pick the map. It's all good. We're going to fix that right away through the magic of my overlay. Oops. Okay, well that was me also being silly. But having a look at Katrina SE here, we're going to have a cool 4-player map, 12, 6, 3, and 9 o'clock spawns. Very long rush distances if you're horizontal or vertical to each other, but quite close by ground. It is going to be a ZVZ, so that doesn't really matter too much. Possibly if they're in diagonal positions, we could see a little bit of a position advantage for one player, but as you can see, none of the minerals away from the wall, so going to be hard at least to harass the main mineral line on this map. So without further ado, let's head into our first game of our second series of day 1 of week 2 for the round 3 of STPL. It's Mitak versus Herbmon, pSi versus bwL. Let's go. Now, starting us off here in the 9 o'clock position, we do have our purple Zerg fighting for pSi. It's going to be Mitak. And his opponent down here in the 6 o'clock position, fighting for bwL. It's going to be Herbmon in the blue. Looks like Herbmon forgot what tournament he was playing in, but he's reminded himself now thanks to the help of his helpful Zerg opponent Mitak. Now, a little bit of an advantage coming in from Herbmon. He is going to be sending his Overlord in the correct direction to start with. While that isn't a massive deal, you know what, I actually think it is a pretty massive deal. It's going to be a lot later scout by Mitak. He's not going to know what his opponent's doing, so he is going to be forced to play a little bit more conservatively. Herbmon will be able to drone up a lot faster. It's kind of funny, almost like on Lost Temple, for instance, or Python, where you get close positions and only one person scouts close, and it's or they both scout even as well, and you have kind of like this weird game of Russian roulette of how many drones can you build before you build Zerglings. I don't think we'll see too much of that this game. The two Overlords are going to pass each other, so they will know exactly where each other spawn. Now, we are going to have a 12 pool coming up for Mitak and back over here. Oh, sorry, it's 12 hatch from both of them. So, in-base 12 hatch for both players, not going for the natural expansions or anything like that. Going to be going straight into this aggression with the 2 hatchery production. Very, very strong on this map. Gas going to be coming up for at least Mitak. Herbmon's gas a little bit later, so his build is going to be a little bit later here. Now he is currently on 9 drones. Currently we do see Mitak on 9 drones as well. So the drone count completely even here. No, oh wow, actually Herbmon actually has a single drone advantage. Oh no, he doesn't. Okay, like, counting drones is really difficult for me. They all bunch up really, really close, so that's why Rapid always says, do not do maths on stream, because it will not go well. It's really hard to do basic maths when you're trying to concentrate on everything at once, but Mitak is eventually going to be able to scout out that his opponent is doing mirror builds to him. Now, it's not often that you get mirror builds with this in-base 12 hatch, so interestingly, it looks like Mitak is going to pull off of gas just enough to get his Ling speed, then he's going to be going entirely into minerals to build as many Lings as humanly possible. Meanwhile, we're going to have Herbmon going for Lair. Now, this is a very interesting choice. He's seen the Lings popping out by Mitak. He's seen that no Lair is going. He's seen there's no more drones mining. So he must know speed is on the way, and he is going to have to get his speed obscenely fast if he wants to hold off Mitak's Lings here. Now, we did have quite a long series last time. It did go on for 2 hours. This series starts off with a ZBZ and a PvP, so maybe going a little bit quicker, but hopefully we still have some amazing games. I mean, last game we had some of the weirdest, wackiest, coolest games I've seen in the STPL round 3 so far. And to be honest, round 3 so far has blown away me completely. We've had such good games. The maps have been really positive effect on the players as well. A lot of them learning a lot of new maps that maybe they wouldn't have played before. Building and catering builds for certain maps as well is a huge benefit. Will help them as players. Now we are going to have a Sunken Colony come up back here with a Spire. Now of course the Spire is not going to be coming up anytime soon for Mitak. He is going for this Ling all-in. Speed has just finished up, and it's going to be up to him now to try and break through Herbmon. Now Herbmon's got a lot of Zerglings at the front. He's adding on another Sunken Colony back home. He's even got Zerglings in his mineral line, but does Mitak have enough to break through here? He's adding on more and more Lings, and he needs to push in before the second Sunken Sun. He needs to get in before this Spire can start building Muteless, but he's still adding on more and more Lings. He doesn't want to go until he's got the critical mass, but is he waiting a little bit too long? He's actually gone into 3 hatcheries in the bottom left here, so his Zergling production is going to be insane. But the trouble is, Herbmon sees this. He sees everything that's going on. And that's why I really feel like this build is being neutered just a little bit. Now, are we going to see an evolution chamber or something coming back in here by Mitak to try and counteract what's going on? Or is he just going to keep building Lings? It looks like he's just going to build Lings. Is this going to be a mistake? This is where we find out. He's actually pushing forward with 2 drones as well. Creep colonies coming up at the front. This is going to be a big move. If he can get these to finish, they're going to be able to attack the lair, attack the hatchery. And the Lings doing so much damage from Mitak, but Herbmon's Lings getting a good engagement until now. But a lot of Mitak's Lings have gone down. Herbmon's Lings have held. And the final Sunken, or the Creep Colony, still not actually finished. The first Sunken is on the way. The second Sunken should finish, but Mitak losing a lot here in these pushes. He's killed all of the Lings, but there's a Mulis here now. And all of a sudden, Mitak's all in. Not looking so powerful. These Sunkens not actually managing to get done what they want to do. We see Mitak at a supply deficit, and more Lings are streaming across. But he doesn't have any defense against the Muteless, so he's going to be using these Lings to the best of his ability to try and break through Herbmon's defense. Herbmon has lost a lot of Lings himself. He's lost no buildings though, and taken no damage on these Sunken, so great work. We should see Mitak take out this power generator, I think. That would help him out a lot, but the Muteless in the main going to be trying to take down this Spore Colony. This Spore Colony needs to finish though, and it's not going to. This is going to be the only anti-Muteless defense he has, and unfortunately it's going to go down. The drone count obscenely low right now for Mitak, and he's barely mining. And it looks like Herbmon's done it. He's weathered the storm. GG! And Herbmon takes pSi to a 1-0 lead. So that was an interesting move by Mitak, trying to force his way through. But the fact they did go mirror builds, the fact that the Sim City by Herbmon was just so strong, gave him the edge in that game. Now that is going to take us into game 2 as we come back just after this.